She bore the fragrance of jasmine laced with embers. When our paths first intertwined in a dim corner of a Virginia inn, her eyes cut through me, as though she'd already deciphered the chapters of my history, and for the first time in ages, I felt truly seen. That night, she painted me as a storm wrapped in calm skin. She glimpsed the war wounds buried in my gaze. She wasn't wrong. 15 years in Afghanistan for tours, shadow operations, silent missions. I was shaped to fade, to unravel, to end lives without a trace. When I came back, I tried to carve myself into something softer. A spouse, a civilian, a man. Her name was Leela. Now, that name knots my chest. I built a quiet life consulting jobs, no weapons, no blood, just blueprints and tools. I gave her everything: safety, a home, a love that didn't probe. I thought we were crafting something sacred, but betrayal doesn't crash through the front door. It creeps through cracks. A strange smile, a meeting that stretched too long, a message she replied to too quickly. One evening, she came home draped in a scent that wasn't mine. I didn't confront her then. You don't charge into an ambush. You track, you watch, you wait. War taught me that. Betrayal is its own battlefield. I traced her steps, her passwords. Where child's play our wedding date. Her email was a gallery of him. Photos, hotel receipts, words that turned my blood to sludge. His name was Cole, a tattooed gym hound, a low-rent cage fighter, a walking glitch with a hero complex and a shallow mind. She called him a real man. Those words clawed something raw inside me. But rage is easy. Revenge is art. I didn't shout or make a scene. I pressed a kiss to her forehead, smiled, and wished her well on her supposed weekend with friends. She didn't know I'd cloned her phone, slipping into every corner of her life, every keystroke, every whisper. For 2 months, I mapped their patterns. Every Thursday, the hotel on 23rd Street. He thought he was pursuing a married woman. In truth, he was walking into a snare. I'd been weaving for weeks. Phase 1, isolation. I changed the locks silently, erased her name from every joint account, froze her cards, and moved assets into trusts she couldn't touch, leaving just enough to keep her unaware. Phase 2, exposure. I compiled everything: pictures, texts, recordings, and sent the file to her parents, her brother, her closest friends. I made sure the shame of her choices would bury her before I ever raised a hand. Then came tonight. The confrontation. She brought him to our home, bold or reckless. They entered, entwined, as if I were a ghost. He cracked his knuckles and snarled, "Leave, or I'll put you in the hospital." I let out a cold, hollow chuckle, carved out by something darker. "You think cage fighting makes you deadly?" I said, my voice as solid as granite. "That's cute. I've ended lives with a pencil in Kandahar. 47 ways to kill with just my hands. Want a sample of the first 3? His eyes wavered, a fracture in his confidence, that brief moment when bravery unravels and fear creeps in. I rolled up my sleeves. "Still want to dance?" He took a step back, then made his fatal mistake. He lunged. I sidestepped, pivoted, and drove my palm under his jaw, clean, controlled, no showmanship. His knees buckled, a swift twist, and he collapsed, gasping. Leela screamed and rushed to his side. I let her hold the man she'd burned her life for. Let her taste the bite of betrayal up close. "Call the cops," she yelled. I tossed her phone to her. "Go ahead. Think they'll care when they see this." I slid her a folder, thick with proof of their every secret sin: a printed record, hotel receipts, their messages, his threats, photos of him swaggering into our home uninvited. I'd crafted a narrative. "Here's how it plays," I said. "You cheated. He broke in. He threatened me. I protected myself. I walk free. He gets a criminal record. You get this." I gestured at the room, now an empty husk of what was once a life. She stared at me, eyes wide, as if I were a stranger. Good. The man she thought she knew was gone. I leaned in close. "This isn't because you hurt me. This is because you thought I'd stay quiet." Then I walked out. I didn't wait for the police. I didn't need to. Every detail was covered legally, financially, tactically. They'd lost before they ever stepped into my domain. Weeks later, I heard he'd fled to another state, his name tarnished. Leela tried to fight for the assets, only to find them vanished. The house was sold to a shell company I owned. Her name was wiped from everything. She texts now and then, a lone dot, a question mark, faint traces of a woman who once held my hand like it meant something. I never reply. She made her move. I made mine. Mine prevailed. In the quiet that followed, I found something keener than peace. I found mastery.